Right, hello everyone, and welcome to the Formula 2 press conference here in TFR. So this is for Season 5. We've just finished now, and we do have a few drivers that do want to join the press conference and a few managers later on. So let's get straight in to this one. So we're going to pull Mab, I believe, into here. Let me just make sure he is ready to come in here. Just waiting for a reply from him. A pretty good season by Mab. Alright, hello Mab. Mab, is your mic working
Hello.
alright? Hello. Right, how did your Formula 2 season go for, well, Season 5?
I guess good. Um, I mean, uh, not a great start, but in the end, we had good points, good races, and got P5. That was cool.
Yeah, you raced for High Tech, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, so your manager was Marcel, I believe?
Yep.
Was everything fine within your management? Did you enjoy yourself there?
Yeah. Marcel was really the first manager that actually, kind of stayed
Yeah.
and actually kept his job for high tech. So that was nice to actually have a manager.
Yeah, High Tech got P4, I believe, in the standings, so pretty good result.
Uh,
Do you think he could have got higher?
Constructors wise, I don't think so because a lot of the times I did not have a second teammate because Josh of in his issues there. But in the standings, driver standings, I feel like if I didn't have such bad races in the beginning, I could have gotten further.
Yeah, so managed to get P5 in the driver standings. Are you happy with that, or would you rather have managed to try and get a bit higher than that next time round?
Well, if I was able to go again, I would have loved to get further up ahead. But like I said, bad races in the beginning, and if those bad races kept going, then maybe I wouldn't have got P5. So I shouldn't be complaining.
Yeah. Will you be staying with High Tech for Season 6 of F2, or what's happening there?
Um, I will be going to Williams for F1. So if they ever need me for some point at High Tech, I won't be with High Tech anymore. I will with the Williams Academy. We have Carlin now, and if ever that Carlin needs me for F2 for some race, maybe I'll help them. But as far as I know, plans are only sticking with F1 with Williams.
Yep, so that's where you plan to go next season for Formula 1, so big improvement. Do you reckon you'll be able to be competitive during Formula One? I know you had a race in Abu Dhabi, the final race of the season for Formula One.
Um, I really hope so that good finishes because it could be like F2. In the beginning, it could be difficult, but in the end, it could be a lot better. Of course, I would love better all season, the best I could be, but Abu Dhabi wasn't the greatest performance. Uh, Issues with safety cars and absolutely being taken out by the Haas, but um, hopefully, great season. And hopefully, improve and put on a good show.
Yep, well, I wish you luck for the future, Mab. Thanks for joining us in the press conference today, and hope you do well for your season in Williams.
All right, thank you.
Alright, so we're going to bring in the championship winner of Kyle now. or DJ Perks. Alright, Kyle, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Alright, so pretty good season for you. What's your thoughts on it?
It was at the start of the season. I had no hopes at all on what I ended up achieving. Let's go with that. But it was quite a intense season with the title fight going all the way down to the end.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
you,
I haven't really got many thoughts about it.
you managed to get P1 in the driver's standings. Congratulations about that. And your teammate managed to get P2. Was it at all close with you two, or did you think that you could win it as soon as you got to Abu Dhabi?
It was close until I believe I can't remember what race weekend I couldn't make, and then there was one race he also couldn't make, which gave either of us like the chance to extend a lead. And
Yeah.
I think from the race he couldn't make or he couldn't score points, and I can't remember why. It was, I think from then on I sort of knew it was more in my favor than it was his.
Yeah, I mean, constructors champions as well, so you've gone and got the double. Uh,
Yeah.
just finished ahead of Primo. When I say just, it's quite a significant margin. It's not really a just finish ahead. You managed to finish ahead with 61 points to score difference. So
Yeah.
pretty dominant performance by the team in general. Will you be staying with Race Labs for the next season in Formula 2?
So initially my plans were to stay in Formula 2 with Race Labs, yes, but then I got tempted by the Alpine manager to go up, be promoted into F1 to go to Alpine. And I couldn't really say no as soon as I got that offer.
I mean,
Going
Alpine,
into F1 with Alpine.
definitely a new car, new livery. Should be interesting to see there. I know you raced for Renault at the start of the Formula 1 season, then swapped back down to the Formula 2.
Yeah.
So if
Guys,
you can,
sorry, go on.
you go.
No, you go.
Oh, okay. If a season was to happen again, would there be anything you would change about the season, or would you basically have done everything just the same?
Well, there was a few points in the season, for example, Silverstone, where I chose not to fight Toby at all for to win that race,
Yeah.
and I chose to just let him sort of do his own thing, and stuck behind him for race one, and then I think race two was wet, and I think I was way too aggressive in that race.
Yeah, so I'm
And
assuming in Silverstone you chose to stay behind him and not really fight him because you were still in a fight for the constructors.
yeah, at that point we didn't know we were going to win constructors by that point, so
Yeah, well, you've came out of it with flying colours now, and it's pretty obvious that you've definitely won it. So
yeah,
congratulations for you, and I wish you luck for Alpine in Formula One next season.
thank you.
All right, thank you for joining me. All right, so we're gonna bring James in now. James Petty, he managed to finish P4, I believe, overall in the standings. Let me just quickly confirm that. Yeah, P4, very close behind his teammate with him. So we're gonna pull him in now. Hello, James. Can you hear me?
Yep, 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 yep.
All right. So pretty interesting season for you. Did you have a good time in that season? I know you had a great fight with your teammate. Very close between you two.
Yes, yes, I had a great time. It's actually the first season I actually completed in F2, and despite the awful few races in the middle of the season, it was pretty good.
Yeah, no disrespect here, but season 4 was definitely not a season you'll definitely not want to look back on. But then season 5 straight away, some great results straight away from you, which is really impressive and good to see in the commentary box. Did you change anything, or any more practice went into it, or did it just naturally come?
I had a lot more practice. I did a lot more time trial and a lot more race start practice, and then it just all came, and it happened.
Yeah, well, Wish it could happen to everyone just like it came to you, but P2 in the constructors as well, so not too bad of a result there, just trailing around 60 points behind Race Labs. Were they just untouchable this season, or do you feel that you could have maybe got it if you managed to cancel out those scruffy races in the middle,
I
basically?
I think I could have done so much better. The the races I've done awful on could have been good, but I either got taken out or made so much mistake that I couldn't recover from.
Yeah, definitely unfortunate for you, especially finishing P4, so you're one position off getting a super license. So your teammate did just get the better of you. Uh, did you think that you could maybe beat him if you had another season against him? I know he's moving up to Formula One with Ferrari next season.
It would be close, but I think I could,
Yeah,
and
because very
and
close
that's
between
not
you two.
getting into my head. I think I. Yep.
So if the season happened again, what would you change for it?
Uh, what? I couldn't quite understand.
Oh, so
Can you say that?
basically, if the season happened again, what would you change in order to prepare for it, or what would you do differently?
I wouldn't be as aggressive with my overtakings and the race starts as I was before, because at the race starts I usually get a good start, but then people who don't get such a good start turn on me or just happen to be in front of me, and not good things happen.
Yeah. One of the final questions I've got for you: will you be staying with Ray, with Prima, sorry, for season 6?
No, I already signed with Uni,
Uni,
and I'm
would you
looking
see
forward
that
to that season.
as a downgrade because they only finished with 66 points to Prima's 330? So would you see that as a downgrade, or are you just going with high expectations as next season?
I wouldn't say it's a downgrade because at the end of the day, all the F1 cars are the same, and basically all the managers have changed from last season, and, and that means a lot. And even though I don't have a teammate yet, I think I'm going into high expectations with the for the next season. And
Yeah.
I only need P6 in the championships to get a super license.
So it should be definitely very interesting if we see you in F1 the season after that. So thank you for joining me for the press conference, James. Good luck to you for the next season, and I hope to see you back in the commentary box.
All right, thank you.
Alright, thank you. Right, so we're gonna bring Evo in now. They definitely did not have the best of seasons, so definitely gonna be a bit awkward with this one. Hello, Evo. How are you doing today?
Hey, hi, how are you? I'm good.
Yeah, I'm doing good as well. Definitely not the best F2 season, if I say myself.
I mean, I didn't even race more than half of it.
Yeah, not managing to score many points when you did attend quite a lot of crashes censored, aren't you? Definitely not the luckiest season you've had. Uh,
No, not really.
do you
I mean,
know
a
how
lot
you
of it
would?
was down to contact with other people, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Do you know how you would approach the season next? Well, next season, will you do anything differently?
Um, well, considering how most of the people drive here, I'm definitely gonna have to be a lot more cautious, not be as aggressive as I was. Most of the time, half the people in this league are gonna send it from about 20 car lengths back. Um,
Yeah.
but I'll just definitely put more practice in and actually make sure I have setups ready. Unlike the 3 races I didn't have a setup.
I know Belgium you didn't because you told me that when I was in the commentary box.
Um, I ran on a very modified preset.
Yeah.
it was only good in the first sector.
Yeah, so not managing to get the top 10 this season. What's going to be your aims for the next season to come?
Definitely above top 5. I know I can do a lot better than what I did. I just had to get my cards right and be in the right place at the right time.
Yeah, but constructors wise, Carlin didn't do too bad of a job. P7 out of the 11 teams, not too bad. 97 points scored. Will you be staying with them next season?
Well, technically it's high tech now with the Red Bull people. So yeah, I have signed on for for another season. So I'm just looking forward to improving. I know we were on the table to beat ART in the standings. I know they were really close. It's just unfortunate we couldn't capitalize on that. I know I wasn't make the last. I couldn't make the last 2 races. I think no, it was Abu Dhabi. I couldn't make.
Yeah, ART only 7 points ahead of you, and then 10 points ahead of you is Charu, so a very tight midfield battle. But then the top 4
Yeah.
teams seem to just really put the gas on and really disappear from the rest of you.
Yeah, no, definitely want to rein them back in. I can't let them stay up there forever.
So we've discovered you're staying with Carlin, apart from it's going to be called High Tech for the next season. Was there any controversy with that seat? Like, did you have to negotiate back for it? Was there any chance that you would lose it?
No, I wasn't ever concerned. I know my manager said that he'd be keeping me throughout the next season, so I never really had any concerns about that. There was only one instance where I made contact with my teammiss, was my English teammate, Lewis at Spa. Um, he was just pushing on a little too much, and then yeah, Italy too, where I had a lot of bad luck. He also made a little bit of contact with me there. Um, I'm not sure how my new teammate will drive, but I'll definitely give them the respect offhand and just see how it goes from there.
Yeah, hopefully you can find yourself a bit further up the standings in the next season, 100%. You're definitely a good driver to watch on track, despite everything that goes wrong for you. Definitely one of the most interesting ones to watch.
Yeah, no, definitely. If I see a gap, I'm 10 times out of 10, I will send it.
Yeah,
Even,
and that's what we
even
like
if
to
it
see.
doesn't end very well.
That might be why the incidents come.
No, Italy was not my fault. It was
Yeah.
someone back there who didn't know what a brake pedal was.
Alright, so thank you for joining me for this
Yeah,
press
no problem.
conference, and I wish you luck in the next season to come.
Yep, thank you.
Alright, thank you, Eva.
Alright, bye.
Alright, so I do believe we'll have Ollie coming in soon as the manager of one of the teams. However, first, some people couldn't make it, and I got them to DM me some responses. So we do have Luca up first, who did manage ART and the Dams team towards the end of the season. So my first question to him was, how did your season go for your Formula 2 teams? His response is, I took on the ART and Dams towards the end of the season. We had some good results and some promising talent in Miles. However, driver attendance was a huge issue for us, and Miles could also no longer make it due to his real life karting. Then after that, I did go ahead and ask him, did they take any positives from the season? There are positives to take from this season. I personally am starting to get to grips with Formula 2 again, and I've learned a good few things whilst I've been here. However, my term here has been too short to really take anything significant from the previous season. My focus now is on Campos racing for the upcoming season. And then we did ask him, Dams down in P10, what really went wrong there? And his response to that was mainly down to driver attendance, and they'll do everything next season to ensure they can be competitive once again. And then finally, I asked him, with the new driver market that we have implemented, will you be keeping the same lineup for Season 6? He responded with, the driver market being reset, will be starting afresh this season. We are going to work, my English is not going well today, we are going to work with the drivers we can get and hope for a good season ahead. So some promising signs by the ART and DAMS team, not the ART and DAMS team, the Campos Racing team. That's who they managed last season. Right, so moving on to Toby-Wan Kenobi, who was also in the championship fight, unfortunately, so I'm going to throw them up on the stream now. There we go. Very unfortunate for him, as he was in the championship fight with DJ, just not managing to beat him this time round, and DJ and him both moving into Formula 1 this season. So firstly I asked, how did your season go? His response is, I feel that on a whole I did quite well. To get P2 in the championship, you must be doing something right. I feel that I made a few mistakes throughout the season, which cost me a few points. At Austria, I made the mistake of forgetting to put my setup on, and in Hungary, I decided to give Storm his first win in TFR, but I wouldn't change that. Liking out of sessions and stepping up to fill F1 all contributed. I know others had similar happen to them, so that's no excuse. It's racing at the end of the day. So good sportsman-like conduct from him. Then I asked him, P2 in the standings behind your teammate, are you happy for them, or do you think that could have been you? Of course I'm happy for DJ, he's worked for it just as hard as I have, and I know he's been wanting it for a while, but on the flip side, I know it could have been me. As previously stated, I made a couple mistakes through the season that cost us points, and I know DJ got some luck throughout the season, while I got some unfortunate in some races. So very unfortunate for Toby there, but he thought it could have been him, but we won't know for next season as he has signed for AlphaTauri. If this happened again, what would you change for the next season? I feel the first thing I'll change is I need to work on my patience. I feel I am one of the quicker drivers in F2, and I don't need to rush moves in sprint races where I'm close to the back of the grid. Constructors Champions, how does it feel? It feels good. Myself and DJ well worked to gain the points for Joe, as I know it meant a lot to him. And finally, the question I asked him, will you be staying with Race Labs for Season 6? Well, I'm looking upwards for next season. With the new game coming, I feel that this is a good time to step up to F1 and have some fun with the best drivers in the league. So it should be definitely interesting, as he has signed a one-season contract for AlphaTauri, I do believe, with Harry being his manager. And we do have someone who's moved into the chat now, and it is going to be Storm, so we're going to pull him in now. Hello Storm, can you hear me?
Yes.
So first of all, how did your Formula 2 season go?
Even though I only had 3 races, was it?
Something
3
like
weekends?
that. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. I was quite happy with my performance. I mean, I could have maybe picked up maybe another podium or something somewhere, but apart from that, I think it went okay, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, you still managed to get top 10 in the standings, 50 points for MP Motorsport. It's definitely not too bad there.
Yeah, so I'm quite happy with it, to be honest.
MP Motorsport finished P3. Are you happy with that result, or do you reckon you could have beat Prima if you managed to attend all the races?
Yeah, definitely would have easily. I think would have easily beaten Primo. I just don't think we had the results going our way. To be honest, I just think Primo did a solid job through most of the tracks. Like I think they had a decent like showing, but we just couldn't get it.
Yeah, very fortunate for you. However, what will you be planning on doing for season 6?
Well, I'm sadly left obviously MP Motorsport for next season, and switching to high tech, not high tech, ART, and hopefully trying to get ART back to where it should be, and hopefully, well, I'm aiming for the championship next season. I think the grid's going to be sort of similar, and I think I have the pace to beat some people in the grid. So it's going to be a challenge. I think James will put a good fight up against me, but I think for the constructors, I think me and Ollie can get a good chance there.
Yeah, would you see ART as a downgrade? I mean, they finished 160 points behind MP Motorsport.
I don't think it's a downgrade. I think because it's going to be so different next season because of obviously all these driver swaps happening and a lot of people moving about, and obviously like Joe obviously not being a manager anymore. That was a lot of influence on my decision to move teams. I was offered the state MP, and I just thought, well, I'd rather move to a team where the manager is someone I know and someone that I can talk to easily.
Yeah, so you're going to be definitely hoping it to try and get in to the number 1 spot for next season.
Yeah, 100%.
Yep, so good luck to you for next season, and wish you luck on the grid against James, who
Thank you.
should try and give you a good fight.
Yeah, thanks.
Right, thank you, Storm. Right, so moving on to C5 Solo, who finished P3 in the standings. Very good result by him. Just finishing ahead of James Petty, his teammate, in P4. So I did DM him some questions. He gave me a document back, so I've got to try and open that up now. So first off, I asked, as always, how did your season go? And he responded, I think I had a strong season, but there are still a lot of areas which I need to improve on. As the season progressed, I think that James and I were slowly closing the gap to the 2 Race Lab cars, but all credit to them, as they had a strong season. I think the real difference was their qualifying pace, and how they could consistently lock out the front of the grid. It definitely was Race Lab's strong point there. They were almost always anyway, on the 1-2. So then I asked him, P3 in the standings in front of your teammate, are you happy with that? With the way you performed, or do you think with more work effort would you have taken P1 in the constructors? At the end of the day, this is my first season ever racing F2 cars, so I'm happy with P2 in the constructors. I believe that James performed very consistently with great qualifying pace and race pace, and was a great teammate to have. I honestly feel that P1 in the constructors was not really there for us due to Toby and DJ's pace going into the season, which set us on the back foot. So we'll see if he can maybe challenge next season. If this happened again, what would you change in the next season? I wouldn't change anything, to be honest. I think that it all comes down to the time you have on individual tracks, building on your best timed lap. Constructors P2, how does it feel? It feels very good to get P2 in the Constructors. It shows James and I had a strong season. Will you be staying with Prima for Season 6? For Season 6, I will be moving to Ferrari F1 team due to my involvement in the Ferrari Driver Academy. I have no expectations for next season, only to give it my best shot, and I'm sure I will get stronger as the season progresses. So very sportsmanlike driver C5 Solo, thanks for the answers there. And we're moving on to the last person, which is Cypher F1. Let me quickly check where he finished in the standings. He managed to finish 9th, 4 points ahead of Storm Twister, who we did just interview, in the ART car. So his team scored 104 this season, so not too great, but they'll definitely be looking to improve next season, as we know Storm and Ollie are moving there. So let's move on to the questions I asked him. How did your season go? Yeah, overall it went okay. It could have gone much better, but it could have gone way worse. At the end of the day, it's all done and dusted, and let's roll on to next season. So definitely want to already put this season behind him and move on to the next one. P9 in the standings, was that expected, or did you think you were going to get higher? P9 in the standings, was that expected, or do you think you would get higher? I can't spell or speak. Understandably, I was only in for 4 race weekends, one of which I didn't score a single point. I do believe that if I was in for the entirety of the season, I could have scored more points and been higher up, but I have done what was possible. I just need to ensure I keep my pace strong and not to slack off. If this season happened again, what would you change? I'm not exactly sure, to be honest. Well, if he's only been in here for 4 races, I suppose one thing he could say is be here for all the races. Midfield constructors team, do you think you got enough work out of your team, mate? Yep, everyone on the team did put in their fair share of effort. It was a shame though, as I was running 2 race weekends without having a teammate, so we definitely lost points there. Will you be staying with ART for Season 6? Unfortunately, I cannot confirm my placement within the team as of yet. There are talks happening, but nothing has been officially released. So should be interesting there indeed. So that is all we have time for now. Thank you everyone for joining, as we do have a long wait ahead of us for the next season, as it will be on the F1 2021 game. But now, thank you everyone for tuning in. Join in tomorrow at the same time for Formula 1. Formula 1 post-season press conference, where we'll have the championship winner coming in to speak to Giles, who will be talking all about it. So don't miss it, and thank you all for joining us, and see you guys in the next one.